Hello, I'm Scott Kenny, 23 Distribution, United States Distribution. I'm here with RallyKart up in Quebec, Canada. This is the Gen 1 RallyKart, which is the most versatile car you can imagine. I'll go into depth later. This is Gen 2 that we will be introducing shortly. The car has been over-engineered, and of course they can't quit. They're waiting for the ice to melt so they can have a whole bunch of race car drivers come in and see if they can figure out how to break it. And like I said, that's Gen 1, this Gen 2. They couldn't break this one. How the hell are they gonna break this one? I'm not quite sure. But they just can't stop. This is what they're doing. So it is what it is. We'll be introducing this product very shortly in both completed and the niche kit cars. Yeah. Complete race car ready to go. Go grab your wrecked motorcycle engine and the wiring harness, stick it in, you're off and running. A couple of important facts, just something for you guys to think about. The car weighs 1,000 pounds. In fact, truthfully, it's a hair under. 1,000 pounds. Do you realize that all those various power sports cars, Polaris, Can-Am, whoever, they all weigh 200 to 2,300 pounds? Every 100, on a road racetrack, every 100 pounds equates to 10 horsepower. Makes a hellacious difference on your braking ability, on your acceleration, on your G-forces. Absolutely horrendous difference that makes, that weight makes. Then pay attention to foolish things, like wheelwood brakes. Everybody yip-yaps some fancy doodah name of a brake, and hallelujah, they're all great. Yes, they're good. But because of their name, they charge you more buck money. Now, these are using wheelwood. All your Winston Cup, all your stock cars, they're all wheelwood. My team chose to use wheelwood. The braking is way beyond this engine. So that's going to be a new one for you. Instead of worrying about brakes, you're trying to control those brakes. The shocks. We're using Elka shocks. So if you check into all the racers, they're using Elka shocks. Well, it depends on what the application is. You know, if you're out in the desert, that's going to be one application, so on and so forth. But in general, Elka shock is a very aggressively priced, all day long, as good as anything else out there for the applications that they build for, which is a wide variety. As I started the conversation on this car, you could go from road race to dirt to roads to the sand. So you're kind of across the board. And you're going to do a very good job everywhere. Is it going to do the best job? No, it's not going to do the best job. For those of you that know Sand Mountain, you've got whoops coming up to that mountain. Then all of a sudden you got the hill climb. So it's going to do mediocre in the whoops, but when you hit that hill, trust me, you are bypassing anything going up that hill. I don't care how much horsepower that guy's got. And yet you go down to Southern California where you got miles of just roaming. Well, you're a free bird out there. Oh my God. You're going to have the time of your life. Exhaust. You could run a straight pipe. A lot of tracks have dB ratings. A lot of tracks are running as low as 93. So we've got various muffler options that are tuned for the Hayabusa, if that happens to be your choice, tuned to the motor. That's a very, very important statement. So you're about 96 dB here, which you're going to get away pretty much anywhere with 96 dB. If you're down at Laguna Seca in Monterey, they're extremely strict, and yeah, they're down here 92 or 93, and so we have one additional which will take you down to that 92, and yet you're free-flowing, and most importantly, I don't want to go into the explanation, but tuned to the motor, which is extremely important. You get every little ounce out of that car. Everything is going to wear much longer because the car doesn't weigh anything. Let me give you an example. If you look at the Legends, in other words, it was like little 1940 style cars. For the road race track, they call them Legend, and when you go over to the dirt circular track, they're calling them come on, it's on the tip of my tongue. What the hell are they calling those things? When they go dwarf cars. They're running, well, they've changed over the years, they keep changing and changing. But they'll run a 600, they'll run a 750, they'll run an 800cc, whatever. Anyway, point being, you're gonna eat their lunch. I was just with the Legends down at, well, it was Infineon actually. They were claiming they're doing 140. It didn't look like it to me. I was seriously concerned because there's another inexpensive way. They're telling me their damn tires will go a half a season to a season. On a normal race car, you're burning up thousands of dollars of tires every weekend. And yet you could go for a whole season on a dirt. You're going to go a whole season on one set of tires. Brake pads, you're going to next to never touch. Every race we had to change the brake pads when we were racing the full-size cars, in my case Corvettes and then Vipers and whatever. So you've just got no expense. Obviously you're changing oil. God, hallelujah, you get to go have the time of your life. So you got safety, you get to have the time of your life, you don't have the expense, you've got a truthfully minimal initial expense. We don't have the exact numbers on the kits yet. These guys are so overboard on their engineering, it's utterly ridiculous. I'm not going to go through an explanation, but on the first ever adventure motorcycle trailer, please look at the website to look at that. I'm telling you, it's something to look at. It looks like absolute artwork. They didn't even put Gen 1 out, and they were in Gen 2. I had to call them several months ago and say, hey, I've been around for decades. I already know. I get the exact drift that you guys can't stop. And about 2 weeks later, the whole group called up. First thing out of their mouth, you're right. We've overdone this thing by 1,000,000 miles. I was at the Salon show yesterday, which is every motorcycle manufacturer was at this show. God, I wish we had that in the United States. Make my life easier. Anyway, they've got it in Canada, Montreal. I sat at that booth for about 8 and 10 hours a day, and I'm watching all these famous race cars, all these engineers, all these on and on. The people, everybody was just astounded. They couldn't find anything wrong with the damn product. Every little inch of it. Try and go over and take a look at the close-up pictures and whatnot of those trailers. You'll get my drift. This is not some piece of fiberglass sitting on a steel frame. This is all aluminum and the welds. My God, you can barely see that it's even a weld. They're flawless and just on and on and on. The car is the same way. And as I can show you details of it, you'll get the drift.